Hey Hoda, I'm Shawn Cheek, the web piano teacher. I heard this morning on your show that you wanted to learn how to play Underdog by Alicia Keys, and nothing inspires me as a teacher as when someone wants to learn something. So I dropped everything, all the lessons today in the studio, and I'm going to teach you how to play this. It's not a very hard song. There's not very many chords, so I think you can do it. Let me play it for you, and then we'll try to learn it. All right, this is what we're going for. And that just repeats over and over again, and then we're going to try this too. All right, so not many chords here, so there's an easier way and a more advanced way to do it. We'll start with the easy way, of course. And I just want to see if you can learn how to play this. And I'm just inspired to do this, and my wife said, yeah, let's do it. So we dropped everything, and we're going to listen to the song. And there's not much to it. So I'm going to teach it just as if you were sitting on the bench next to me and I were teaching you and you didn't know any piano or any music. I still think you can do it if you love the song and you want to know how to do it. All right, so we just have a few chords here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we're set. And the chords aren't very far away from each other. So that's another plus. So I really think you can do this. Let's get to the monitor here. All right, so I don't know if you know the names of the keys or not, but I'm going to show you all of that, and everyone else too who wants to learn this, hop on and let's all learn it together. All right, so we have a middle C with the right hand. This is a C note. So if you get in the middle of your keyboard, your piano, right in the middle you have a C on the side of 2 black keys, okay? Make sure you're not on the side of 3 blacks, but on the side of 2 blacks. Right in the middle, should sound like that. All right, and then we're going to put our pointer finger, our 2 finger, on an E flat. Now this is an E note on the piano, so an E flat's going to be this black key. Okay, so there are our first 2 keys, C, E flat. And then our next key is a G above that. Okay, so our 3rd finger goes on a G. 1, 2, 3. And then one more key is the C on the top with your 5th finger. Now you might find that a little difficult at first to get all those notes going down, but just kind of practice taking your hand off and putting back down. C, E flat, G, C. Okay? All right? So that's the first chord right there. Now we're going to put a left hand with it. A C octave. So here's a C with our thumb here. The next C down. This was a C. This is also a C on the side of 2 blacks. And then we have our 5th finger on the side of 2 blacks, an octave lower. I only have 1 C written there, but we're going to do 2. All right? So we'll try all those keys together. Right? So just practice that. Now, if you haven't played any chords ever, you have to make sure that you're not, this 4th finger isn't pressing a key by accident. You have to keep that 4th finger, that ring finger, up in the air a little bit. So a good way to practice is just to play the chord and then take your hands off and then put it back on. Because we can all play it once we get there. The problem is getting there. So practice getting there, and then you'll just be able to sit down at the piano eventually and play that chord without any trouble. Okay, so back to the overhead monitor here. This 3rd finger has to kind of slide in between just a little bit to get that G. See that? Don't be afraid to slide that finger in right there. So there's our first chord. Bum! And we count to 2. 1, 2, and that's great. We get to count to 2 because that gives you time to get to the next chord. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now the great thing too is there's not much of a move to get to this A flat chord. Once you play that first C minor chord, this one's not very different. All you do is you take this middle note here, that's a G, and we're going to make it an A flat with this finger. You can use the 3rd finger again, or you can use the 4th finger, whichever is comfortable for you. But it's only 1 note difference. Look at that, G to A flat. So that's all you have to do. C, E flat, A flat, C. Practice playing that one, just kind of coming off the keys and coming back down. All right? The left hand is going to move to an A flat octave. So here's your A flat right here. In the middle of these 3 blacks, thumb and 5th finger. So there's the 2nd chord. Okay, so if we start with the first one, 1, 2, 3, 4, and while you're counting to 2, you can be moving 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, that's half the song. You now know half the song if you can play those first 2 chords. So practice on the move from the first one to the second one. Okay. And then we'll try the next measure. But let's work this a little bit more. This first measure, 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm using pedal too. I'm pedaling each one. 1, 2 to connect it. 3, 4. Okay? Now, the next chord is a B flat chord. So on this one, the right hand's going to move down to the left, okay? So I'm going to go to B flat on my thumb, okay? I got a D in the middle, so my two fingers in between two black keys, and that's okay. Don't be afraid being in between the two black keys. Just get used to that feeling. Then third finger's on an F, then my fifth finger's on a B flat. That's a B flat chord. Okay, so that one you have to practice too, just coming down on. Left hand's going to move up to the right to the next black key to B flat. That's the next chord, okay? So what you have to practice now is the move from this one to this one, just as we practice the move from this one to this one. So as we add it in our chain, okay? Let's start at the beginning. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. Very good. All right, now we only have 2 chords left, okay? And these two aren't very far away either. So that's what's great about this song is there's not many chords. And the second thing is you don't have to move very far to get from one chord to the next chord, all right? So let's pretend that you've practiced that. You've paused my video here so you could practice because you don't have to keep up with me. Some people think they got to keep up with me. You don't. Hit pause, work on it, and then you hit play, and I'll be here when you're ready. All right, let's work on those last 2 chords now. We already were on B flat with our 1 and 5 finger. Now we're going to go B flat, E flat, G, B flat. Remember those 2 notes we had right here at the beginning? Well, it's those 2 again. The only difference is we have a B flat octave on the outside of it. So E flat and G with fingers 2, 4. Okay, that's the next chord. We were right here, so the D and F moved upwards to E flat and G. The left hand's going to go to an E flat octave right here. So this side of the 2 black keys is an E flat. Thumb and my 5th finger. Play that. And guess what? You already know the last chord because you played it right here. See that? It's the same one. You just go back to it. You start with it, and you go there, and then you go back to it. The left hand, though, is going to go to E flat and then down to D. Just moves down to D right there. So if I start at the beginning of the measure, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you just start over and you play it over and over and over again. All right, let's do this measure again. 1, 2, 3, 4, and I'm pedaling each one with pedal for each chord. Pedal and pedal. Pedal, okay? Each chord gets 2 counts except the last 2. So let's do this now as if you've practiced each chord. You've practiced tying the chords together, the moves. Now you're going to practice both measures together. So let's do it super slow and see how we do. All right, here we go. Ready and go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? It repeats over and over again, so we'll do it again. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Part of your practice is not only practicing the move from one chord to the next, but it's repetition, reps. You got to get your reps in. And the great thing about this song, again, is it repeats over and over, so it naturally lends itself to repeating over and over. You want to minimize those little motions that you make with your fingers that aren't helping you get to the next chord. You want to do the simplest thing to get from one chord to the next so that your brain and your hands remember that simplest motion and you have efficiency of movement from one chord to the next so that it just, you just go to the next chord without having to think about it. Let's do it again. And go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then repeat it. Just connect it. Nice. 1, 2. All right. Over and over. Now, I'm going to show you one more thing for an advanced student. This is if you get this down really good, and now you want to sound more like the guitar. Dun, 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 and have that kind of beat that's going along with the sound, because the piano is just playing what I showed you right here. But it's got drums, got percussion, and the guitar strumming. And if you want to capture that sound, we can do it more like this. All right, that sounds really complicated, huh? It's maybe not as complicated as you think. What we're going to do is a formula for each chord. Together, left, right, right, or together, left, right, right, left. Remember that. Together, left, right, right, left. All right? So if you were to play on some bongos or something, together, left, right, right, left. You can beat on a desk. Together, left, right, right, left. Together, left, right, right, left. Practice that beat, and then all you do is you apply it to the chord you learned to play, and you sound like this. Next chord. Okay, remember, together, left, right, right, left. Together, left, right, right, left. Same thing on that one. Together, left, right, right, left. Now, for this one, you don't do anything special. You just go dun, dun, and you go back to that rhythm. All right, so there's the little lesson series, everything packed into one lesson. Remember, it's going to take you a while to do this, Hoda. If you have never played piano before, if you've never had any music lessons, it's going to take you a while, a couple of weeks maybe. You're going to have to practice consistently, all right? Maybe 15 to half an hour, 15 minutes to half an hour every day working through each chord, and you will get it and you will get better, I promise. Hope you guys enjoyed this lesson series. Talk to you later.